Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you are having a great last day of 2023. It's hard to believe, but Happy New Year. We are getting ready to welcome 2024 this evening, and I have one last round of holiday candle reviews that I've decided that I want to share for today. They're all three from HomeWorx, and they are all three from what I'm calling the Baubles collection. I don't think that's what this collection was called, but I'm calling it that because of the labels. The labels were consistent across all of the candles from this collection. They were just different colored ornaments basically on the labels. So they just basically changed the hues of the ornaments between the different fragrances. I have three from this collection that I want to review today, starting obviously with Merry Marshmallow. A little bit later on, I will share my thoughts on the Christmas confetti as well as the gilded garland. Now, I did also purchase the one that came with the like blue bauble packaging. However, when I first received that one from Homeworx.Shop, I stuck my nose in it and it just was not a fragrance that was to my personal liking at all. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy burning it, but I did have a friend in mind who I knew would enjoy this particular scent. So I never let it up. I just ended up gifting that out for the holidays this year, and the recipient really did love the scent. So, but that means that I won't be reviewing that one from the collection. So, but the other two, I will have some thoughts for you. Those videos will go up a little bit later on in the day. So obviously make sure that you are subscribed. But yeah, I will say I'm very curious to see how 2024 goes for HomeWorx. HomeWorx is definitely a brand that has had, you know, some issues here and there over the last few years. A lot of the issues have really kind of centered around the strength and throw of the candles. Most of us who were original to the brand from when it first launched at QVC back in, I think it was 2017, you know, we had just come to expect a pretty strong strength and throw from HomeWorx candles. And that really started to decline after, I would say, around 2020. And it was a pretty significant decline. So that definitely was not great. I do think that for me, from what I have purchased and what I've received in PR in 2023, there have been some improvements, but it is not a consistent across the board improvement in terms of strength and throw. I personally have not had any wick issues. Like, I don't deal with puny wick syndrome with most of my HomeWorx, and I don't deal with the wicks keeling over on me. I have a pretty strict burn limit, and I think that that kind of prevents that. I don't burn my HomeWorx past like the 3.5 hour mark. I watch them pretty closely, especially when I get near the end of the candle. So just, you know, that's something that has helped me. I try to just now kind of follow the directions that are on the bottom of a lot of candles. Like, companies will actually tell you, like, this is the suggested burn time, basically. So at any rate, I do think that there have been some improvements, but like I said, it is not across the board quite yet. So I'm very curious to see if 2024 is where we're going to see those improvements like stretch out even further and kind of allow the brand to redeem itself with a lot of people who are taking a break from it right now. So I have my fingers crossed. I really do think that when it comes to gourmand fragrances, especially which is what this one here is, HomeWorx does a really great job with those types of scents, and that's probably mostly why I would just be so sad if, you know, if anything happened to the brand. Like, I would miss these gourmands. I just think that this is the area that Harry really excels at, is anything that smells like food. I just think he does that extremely well. And you know, each candle company kind of has their own different strengths, things that they excel at. And for HomeWorx, I really think it's the gourmands. So But I will be continuing to purchase Homeworx in 2024. Again, I'm not purchasing these candles in bulk anymore, so I'm not getting multiples of each scent that I happen to fall in love with. That's a big change for me. You know, I'm lucky enough to receive PR from time to time as well. And with the PR, it's kind of nice because oftentimes they do send me things that I wouldn't necessarily purchase myself. So I think it kind of helps to round out the types of reviews that I get to do a little bit more in terms of a wider range of fragrances. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what there is to come in 2024 with Homeworx, and I will keep you guys updated. Like I said, as soon as I notice like the drastic across the board changes, I will absolutely be shouting that from the rooftops. But as of right now, you know, I think the vast majority of candles are doing better, but there's still duds here and there. So that being said, you guys, let's get into these last 3 reviews here. Merry Marshmallow. Okay. First of all, I think this is a total repackage, and I'm not mad at it at all. In general, I don't get mad at repackages. I love them, especially when they're fragrances that I love, which Merry Marshmallow, I think, is basically vanilla bean macaron. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that the Homeworx vanilla bean macaron is actually one of my favorites. I would consider that in the top 5 faves for me for sure when it comes to Homeworx fragrances throughout the years. The first time I purchased it, I think I got it in like multiple sets from QVC, and then it also showed up at Ulta, so I picked up some there. But it's a delicious scent, and if you have this one and you also have vanilla bean macaron, will you chime in and let me know if your feelings are the same? Honestly, it took me a little while to make the connection. Every time I lit this one up, I was like, man, this smells so familiar. What does this remind me of? And stupid me was trying to think of like, you know, candles from like other candle companies. No, I think it's just vanilla bean macaron from Homeworx, but repackaged. I'm not sure why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but there you have it. Again, let me know down below if you think they're the same, but let's read through the fragrance notes. I'll tell you what I smell here, and then we'll talk strength and throw because that's actually pretty decent on this one. So the notes here read fluffy marshmallow, vanilla bean, sweet caramel, and whipped cream. So the first thing for me that I can just knock off the list right away here, and it makes me happy to be able to do this, is there is no detectable caramel at all in this to my nose. I'm kind of a bloodhound when it comes to caramel fragrances because I don't really tend to care for them. Most of the time, there's some exceptions, but most of the time I find caramel to be pretty cloying, a little overly sweet for my liking, but I just don't smell that at all in here. What I do smell is a beautiful just base of vanilla bean. It's not French vanilla. It's not like that eggy, custardy, like gross vanilla. It's a pure vanilla bean. Oh, it's delightful. This is the perfect vanilla, you guys. That whipped cream also present here. Basically, it almost smells like you were making a really thick, like whipped cream with like pure vanilla bean extract, and you toss some of the vanilla beans in your whipped cream. It's super rich. It is really authentic, and it is delicious, you guys. Now, even here, I do think the marshmallow makes sense. When you stick your when you stick your face into a bag of marshmallows, you really do get like a nice kind of vanilla that wafts up first, and then it mixes with, you know, the sugary sweetness of the marshmallows. So I do think the marshmallow reference here definitely makes sense for the fragrance. But I do think that this is just a pure repackage of vanilla bean macaron. And like I said, I am not upset about it. I do still think that I have a vanilla bean macaron floating around somewhere, but I haven't gone through my collection lately to kind of reorganize it. That is coming, by the way. I have a bunch of like current collection videos planned for the new year. So if you want to know where I'm at with my Homeworx collection, we're gonna go through it all. So Anyway, but as far as this one goes, I think it's vanilla bean macaron, and I freaking love it. I would, if you come across this one, get it. It's really, really yummy, especially if you like a good kind of blender type candle. This one paired so well with so many of my Christmas fragrances. If it comes back again next holiday season, and I don't have any vanilla bean macarons left, I will absolutely repurchase this. It is delightful. So whatever name you find it under, whether it's vanilla bean macaron, which by the way did show up at like Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Ross, those places throughout the year, but it was not released again on Homeworx.Shop. At least I don't think it was. And it definitely was not re-released on QVC. Otherwise, I would have definitely partook in that. So anyway, strength and throw here. Let's just kind of round it out really quickly. I think that the strength of this one is quite decent for what it is. It's a vanilla, and they tend to be a little bit lighter to begin with. But this one's a pretty solid performer, you guys. I've mostly had it in my Hurricanes downstairs. In my Chester Hurricane, it was definitely a solid 7 out of 10 in terms of strength. It didn't travel super far, but I would still kind of put it between like the 6 to 7 range. It was a solid room filler. Let's just call it that. And in fact, in this room here, it is filling this space quite nicely. This particular bedroom in the back part of the house is a little bit bigger. I would say if I'm thinking back to like when I lived in like smaller houses and in apartments, this bedroom here seems like the size of like a small apartment, like living room or something like that. So I don't know if that gives you like a reference point, but in here, it's filling this room beautifully. It's not overpowering. Vanillas, I feel like it's hard to like have them be overpowering anyway, but it's just really pleasant. And if you're looking for a great blender scent or just a great vanilla on its own that's a little bit sweeter but not cloying, this is one worth checking out without a doubt. I'm not sure if any of these three are still available on the website, but if they are, I think they're worth snagging. I'm not sure if you can, if they are still there, you might be able to use my discount code to save a little bit more money on them. Homeworx definitely reversed. They reversed that policy this year, which I was really glad to see, because a lot of people were, rightly so, super annoyed about not being able to use their rewards points on sale items. That doesn't feel right to me. So anyway, you might be able to combine either my discount code or your rewards on any of the sale items that are still available over at Homeworx.Shop, or obviously go see what's on clearance from QVC. So anyway, you guys, the other 2 reviews will be coming a little bit later on today. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you think this is a repackage of vanilla bean macaron. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.